Hey everyone, I'm Justin. This video will be on the ES and the NQ along with a few actual charts. All I ask, if you do enjoy, please share the video, and that just helps me so much. But if you don't enjoy, just click off, act like you were never here. So we're going to start with the ES, and this right here, we're on the weekly chart. You always want to start with the largest time frame first, because if you're trading inside of a vacuum, that would be an example of only looking at something like a 5-minute chart and not understanding the big context. So that's something we don't do. We always understand the big picture, start from the weekly and go down from there. Something that I've been working on lately, and it's helped a lot, is as a trader, you go through so many losses. It's inevitable, but our brain doesn't like losing. So to remind myself of the reason why I'm taking these losses, because you have to take losses. If you don't, that means you're not taking all the opportunities. But when you take all the opportunities, the reason we do this is the long-term probabilities. If we're using risk management and we have a system that we've worked on over time, we are guaranteed to make money in the long run with a proven system and proven probabilities in our favor. But we still take losses. So to help the psychology, you have a picture or a screenshot of your long-term probabilistic outcomes. So you take a loss, but you go right back and you look at your guaranteed long-term outcomes, and it brings your confidence back. It helps you remain even keel instead of tilting and getting angry, because psychology is really the hardest part about trading in the market in general. This is why there's only 10% of people who do become profitable in this business. So please understand that the psychology is the most important part. There's, of course, risk management, position sizing, scaling in and out, technical analysis, trend lines, candle patterns, candlesticks. All of that other stuff is amazing, but psychology is number one. So I just wanted to really speak on that. So on the weekly, we're in a guaranteed beautiful uptrend. We've had a few weeks. Last month was our first month where we opened and closed lower. So that's, alarming, but not really when you look at the big picture. And our big picture, we have a beautiful uptrend. So now we dial into the daily, and Friday was a strong day, and it's always important to notice how the week closes. So last week it had some scary points, but we closed strong. The 4,300 spot is very important. You see, that's where we tapped right there, and on Friday that is right around where we closed. So now let's check out the overnight session, see what the range is. And it looks like we had a high of 43.62 and a low of 43.15. So I'm expecting a choppy day today. Let's hop into the NASDAQ. And same thing, we always start with the big picture context. Very similar to the ES, but the NASDAQ has the FANG, the Apple, the Tesla, the Netflix, etc. These strong market leaders. So we, on the weekly, confirmed uptrend. We're riding the 20 right now. The 14,700 area is key from last week. And we have a downtrend in the short term. But look, all these trend lines are all from months and even years ago. So we are in a beautiful uptrend. We tap into the daily, and it looks like the NASDAQ is a bit stronger than ES, but very similar price action. We had a rough week, but we closed better. So now let's check out the overnight range for the NASDAQ compared to the ES. And it looks very similar. So our overnight highs are at 836 and our overnight lows are at 631. So about a 200 point range on the NASDAQ. Not bad. it seems like we're digesting. We don't predict the future. We just take information and make strategical bets on the future. It's different from just gambling recklessly. But let's check out a few charts that are very primed to go. And the first one we have is BBCP. So immediately you notice it is under $10, but it has enough volume to be liquid, and you can get in and out of this stock without problems unless you're trading huge size. So always do your own due diligence. But let me just say, in these videos, a lot of this is for me. It helps me a lot. So if you are learning, if you do enjoy, that's amazing. Share it with someone else who might enjoy and might learn. But these videos are really preparation, and it's like, if I say something on a video, I am more likely to remember that. I'm more likely to stick to that word, and it's very important to be honest in everything that you do. It's to add fluff just to be attractive when that's not your real personality. It doesn't make too much sense. But that's just my personal opinion. So, BBCP, I just switched the accounts quick so you don't have to see those exact share sizes that I have my buy stops and my stops in. But I'm looking, the analysis is going to be exactly the same as my personal orders are. So we get a break over this 8.9 spot, and look, it has nothing above. Sure, it has a few closes around 10.50 and some wicks around 12, but the risk to reward, if we do get a confirmed breakout on a nice base like this, you see, it's like 2-4. It's over 20 weeks of basing, and that's quite impressive to me. So if you do get a nice high volume confirmed breakout, I want to be in this thing. So we get a move through the 8.9 area, man. And me personally, on the weekly setups, I like to risk 21-day lows. So I always do my position sizing according to the distance, how much dollars it is to the 21 days lows, and I always risk the same amount in all of my strategies. Sure, the dollar amount is different, but for each specific strategy, it's always the same number of risk. So next we have AMRS. And this thing, wow, this has been a huge base, but it's worth being on the list, because when a base this large breaks, the larger the base, the bigger the move. So I'm not someone who likes to buy into bases, because if you think about it, it could fail. This very well could break down and lose the lower trend line, and by waiting for the breakout entry, I save myself that, because if you buy into the base, you might be waiting extra long, you have your capital tied up, and then it could very well just fail. So I'd rather take the chance of paying a higher price on a breakout through, what's the level that I really like on this? And honestly, through the downward trend line, around $15 is my ideal entry. And I'd much rather pay up and get a more guaranteed entry rather than buying in the base. But that's just my personal strategy. Everyone has different methods, and we can all make it work. That's the cool thing about trading, is it's a personality thing. You have to pick strategies and methodology that works for you. And it also helps improve your mindset and your brain, because you're forced to take losses. You're forced to be just the smallest little fish in the ocean. 90% of the stock market, all the liquidity that runs throughout it is big corporations. So we're just small guys, but we could still take our piece of the pie, you know what I mean? So ENB, This thing is beautiful. We have some past price action around, the 41 area and around 43 where this trend line began, but we've been in a base for like 20 weeks. So let's check into the daily, and just to move through this trend line on some high volume, it's worth an entry. It really is, because the room to run is worth risking, 21-day lows. That's just what I like to do. Next we have HSIC. So this is Henry Sheen, and you notice much of these chart patterns are similar. I love the flags and the pennants. In the weekly charts, the longer they've been consolidating, the stronger the move will be when we get a confirmed breakout. So I'm just waiting for a move through the $80 level and through the pivot, the downward trend line. You see, even on the daily chart, this thing looks quite attractive. So honestly, what I like to do is add it to my daily watch list when something looks so good on the smaller time frame as well. But a move through 80 looks great. And lastly, we have NVST. So we zoom out to the weekly for the context, and just a beautiful base. The volume shows a lot of interest, and if we get a move through this trend line, you see all those wicks. We've just been rejecting that 44 spot for a while. So if we do get a confirmed high volume breakout, man, that's looking good. If you enjoy, please share this with someone who's going to take the time to watch it diligently and actually try to grab new concepts and information from it. Thank you so much. Be sure to carry yourself in a way that you're improving others around you. You don't want to let the negative stress and emotions build up. Rather, manage yourself in a way that you can help others improve. Thank you. Enjoy the day, and I'll be back with another video next week.